it occurred to me that I needed to return to the type of eating and cooking I came up with as a small child. I need to get back to taking care of myself.
Sustainable Food Center is like a hub that brings together the farmers, it brings together the customers, it brings together the educators. It's a way for the community to think about food in a different way. It's a way for them to access food resources that this community has that don't often are found in the general public, aren't known about. And it's a rallying point around the food issues.
I like the SFC because they're educating people on food policy and the problems with conventional agriculture and, the benefits of local organic, avoiding pesticides, avoiding, water sustainability and all these different, all that we are here to represent is embodied by the SFC's mission and goals, and you see it in how they support the community gardens and how they reach out in so many ways.
The system that we have right now is not the best system for our health. That's why we got into farming, because we saw it as a problem, we wanted to fix it, and we can't fix it alone. As farmers particularly, we need help out there on the marketing, education side, and SFC has done a great job.
If there was one thing that I'm the most proud of with the work of this organization, it's that we help people help themselves around healthy local food. And our work is very much around that food justice issue of every person deserves the right to healthy, local, sustainably grown food.
So I remember our first experience with SFC was a real eye-opener for Aaron and myself. We were just started and we were new at this, and we decided, wouldn't it be great to sell food at the St. John's Community Health Center? So we took our pop-up tent, we took our vegetables and set up, and I think it was probably 100 degrees out there. And it was just us, and we were really surprised at first how hard it was to sell this food. This is an area that is a food desert. They're not used to seeing farmers come into their community. And so I think SFC has been working to figure out what exactly do people want. It might not be what the farmer wants to grow. So the more information we have about our neighborhoods and our communities and what they need, I think will help all of us.
I have 2 children, my daughter Kayla, who's 5, and my son Lucas, who's 18 months. And they are really the inspiration for this garden. We're living in this time where everything is so processed, so this whole age of convenience and fast foods, it wasn't until moving out here where I really focused, moving to Austin and, learning about the benefits of organic versus conventional and eating local and how good fresh local food could taste, that I really started, expanding my palate and appreciating, what I'm putting in my body.
People in the community can approach Sustainable Food Center about help with a community garden. We work in partnership with the City of Austin, especially if it's public-owned land, city-owned land, to make sure that that's a viable space that they're looking at for food production. But a lot of what we bring to the table is the training around community garden leadership. It's really important that someone take ownership of that garden to make sure that everyone's sort of working as a community to make it the best place possible for food production.
So one of the best parts about this community garden is the sense of community that's being built. So we are actively bringing people together, gardeners, novices, like master gardeners, you name it, together, and it's really building a sense of home and a sense of community that I think this neighborhood was really calling out for.
So we can't do this work without looking at the food system from seed to table. And in order to really look at that entire system as a whole, you have to look at how is food grown, how is it shared in this community, and how is it prepared into healthy, nutritious, delicious meals for our families.
So I got into farming because I grew up on a farm as a child and I loved it. I loved all the things that a farm gave to me, and I want to give that back to the next generation. I love, as a farmer, to go to a business, go to a school, and see the expression on people's faces when you bring this food to their doorsteps. They get out of the office, they get a break, they get to talk to us, they get to really, have an interaction, which I sometimes don't have when I'm really busy dropping off food to a restaurant, let's say. And I see that as the future, where these partnerships, using a nonprofit like SFC to partner with a profit farm like ours, and it's a win-win for both of us. We're serving populations that don't typically know about these kinds of foods that are available, and we make it more convenient, more accessible, and more affordable.
If you have a question about how to explain what sustainable is, I think that's the first thing that the center helps you with. That when you make choices, for example, if you use a farmer's market, it's more local and has fewer chemicals on your food, and it just makes the food more healthy. I think that's a point that really the center lives up to its first name, how to be sustainable, especially in today's society.